I'm Lois Myers, Costume Design. And being that this is just one day, it makes my job a little easier. Because there's not a whole lot of costume change and stuff. It makes a little less costume count. But in the research of this, we have the lovely courtesan. So I had to research in this time period, 1900, what the courtesan was, what she was like, what she wore. Because you have to have at least one really fun thing to costume per show, at least one. And that was my courtesan. So I found out that they were called, they were referred to in the Victorian time period as soiled doves. And this was kind of a blanket term for also female entertainers, because during this time period it was also a little bit seedy for women to be on stage. And so there was like this hierarchy of the soiled doves. And the top of the line were the women who were performers, actors, singers, and they could mingle with the general populace who wouldn't even know that they were necessarily performers because they were kind of like the mainstream. And then you had the next level, which were the bar girls, the entertainers on a more personal level in the bar. They got the guys to come in and get drinks and dance with them. And then the next level were your courtesans, mistresses, and they were sort of the high-end prostitutes. So they had the nicer clothes, the nicer clientele, and then from there it kind of gets a little worse. We have the brothels, and then it was called the crib. I thought that was really kind of hilarious. But the women who had lost their prime in the prostitute world went to the crib or owned a brothel. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So Tracy and Cheryl, and then I have one who's in one scene. Corsets and bloomers, girls. Just here, once you kind of naked for the time, which is corsets and bloomers. But it's 1900. He was going for a look that's not extremely identifiable amongst the stage of people, except for maybe here and there a little bit of a difference. Boaters and bowlers and derbies are the hats, with a few little flat caps thrown in here and there. I do better with questions. Does anybody have questions? All right, this is not a fun show to show a bunch of good stuff. Yes, ma'am.
I know in the past you sort of had a color kind of palette that you worked with.
Dark.
This one too?
Dark, yes. Yes. It's to keep in that what was the term you used?
Okay. There is references that what Shakespeare did, he took a play that was essentially a Roman farce by Plautus, and he added bits of magic and kind of horror to the story. He's got this crazy, insane Dr. Pinch, and they think that there are witches in this town, and there's a load of references to this town. They say this town is full of cozenage, as nimble jugglers that deceive the eye, dark working sorcerers that change the mind, soul-killing witches that deform the body, disguised cheaters, prating mountebanks, and many such like liberties of sin. So they have to be terrified in order for some of the comedy to work. So the town has to have this sort of dark quality that motivates a lot of the action of the play.
Pinch was my other one that's going to be fun, and his helpers. You got some fun goggles. Fun about those goggles. And big old black gloves that you're not going to be able to hold much of anything in. But he's going for the mad scientist kind of look. So you and your helpers are going to have that mad scientist kind of feel, which is going to be really fun. Yes, ma'am.
Did you have to build a lot of pieces for this one?
For this show being the time period it is, and since Shakespeare is mostly male, I get to pull a lot from stock. So from from that viewpoint, no, there's a lot to pull. Two main girls will have their main costumes built, which will be really fun. And then the two Romeos are having their pieces built. And then the two in Triple I, we have to order suits that can match. And I found a really good website that's got really cheap suits. Yes, ma'am. Yes, she did.
Do we get to see photos of these?
Well, I have a little board up here that I just gathered a bunch of photography from the time period, which is what Jared and I have used to do our brainstorming and the kind of looks up here. This will stay here at rehearsal for you guys. And then when we have fittings, we'll have chats and things as far as specifics.
But all of them are going to be, it's all dark colors.
The women have a little color. The women are going to bring a little color.
dash.
Yeah, I begged. I got some color in there somewhere. But yeah, there'll be a little bit of color in the women. And a little bit of flecks of color in the men, like their vests or their ties and that kind of thing. So it's not completely black and white or monochromatic. There's little flecks of color. So you get some color. Anybody else? Or are you going to say?
Who's your favorite?
Who's my favorite?
Yeah.
In the cast? In the cast? During the show? Or?
You and I emailed back and forth.
Yeah, Matt's my favorite because he has to
Okay.
wear a fat suit. And he also wrote a bunch